Yo, what's up, guys? NazUFC here. Welcome back to another video. Talking about UFC 5 again. Sharing more thoughts about the closed beta. So, when I played the closed beta, I found it really easy to get Doctor Stoppages, and I have to say, I think when I discovered how easy it was, I kept doing it and I kept doing it, and I was getting them consistently against high level players, against noobs. Of course, it was a lot easier against noobs on like quick fight, but I made sure to try it against high level players too, just to see if it was just a fluke. And I ended up getting about 50 Doctor Stoppages. I played game testers, I played ESFL competitors. I tried it against everyone just to see. And I put in a complaint, and I don't know if it's going to be fixed or not, but it's really easy to get. And even if they nerf it, I still believe it's going to be an you know, easy way of winning the fight if you'd really try go for it. And what I was doing was I was trying to get a cut on my opponent's face quite early, and I noticed that if you threw a lead hook on its own, that wouldn't really cut them. You had to like pop them with a straight first, then throw a lead hook, and that would end in a cut. If you slipped a straight, then threw a left hook, you couldn't just cut them by throwing a normal shot. Um, Elbows, especially the spinny elbow, that really helped to get the cut. But as soon as you got that cut, the ball was basically in your court. You could literally just focus that cut from there, and there was loads of ways you could do that. So obviously, whenever I was able to hit that cut, I would like if it was on their right side or their left side of the face, I would switch stance. So if it was on their right side, I would switch stance so that my right hand was my lead punch, and I'd just constantly throw right hooks. And obviously, I wouldn't just constantly throw it. I would set that shot up. So I would I'd throw head kicks from range on that side, and I noticed that the icon would start off orange, and then it would go darker and darker the more you hit it. And another issue I discovered was even if they were blocking and you broke their block, so you broke their block, it doesn't matter how you broke their block, but if you broke their block and you were throwing that hook on their face, even though it's not doing head damage, I noticed the icon was going darker and darker and darker, and yeah, I found it really easy to get the doctor to come in. It was really easy to get the ref to like pause the action as well. So in order to do that, you just had to create a bit of space. And if you've got the cut and you don't know that, then you can fall for the guy's trap. All I was doing was pushing the guy away when the icon was red, or like keeping his body, kicking him away and running away essentially. And if you create that space, the ref will pause the action. So you have to essentially run away from him. I never had a doc stop me when I was attacking him. It always happened when there was that space, if you know what I mean, right? Um, a few a few ways that I thought was cheesy that helped me get it was once I made their icon go red, I would take them down and I'll hold them in a position that I was able to deny transitions easy, and I would wait until the ref stood us up. And as soon as the ref stood us up, you have massive distance, and the ref literally goes, "Fight, stop," and he will stop the action right away because there's too much space between you. And in a second, I'm going to talk about how you can prevent yourself getting doctor stop. So there's a few ways around it, and the game can become a tag your it game sort of thing. So if you're both doing that strategy, so I was playing my friend Hit, and we both had red icons cut. We noticed the doctor would only check on the person who got hit last, and you on the cut, so it's not just a normal hit. It has to be on the cut, and you've hit the cut if you hear that splash noise, that it makes a noise when you hit the cut, and if you've both got red icon, and I hit his cut last, then the doctor's basically on my side. All I need to do is run away, and he's got to show some urgency and try hit my cut back in order to like flip it. So it was a bit of a tennis game kinda, and it's a weird, man. Like that shit does not happen on UFC 4 where you're waiting on the doc to come in. So it's another way to win the fight. Makes it more interesting, but right now I do think it's a bit too easy to get. I'm going to show you guys a conversation. So I'll show you what a doctor stoppage looks like from the video. So you could do damage from ground and pound. I recommend just staying bottom half guard and constantly punching that side of their face. It does crazy damage. Side control is another position. The armbar position where you can throw punches, that does a lot of damage. But if you look here, that's red. That is red. But you, I feel like he could have hit the face more. From when I played the beta, you can actually make him bleed a lot more. And if it was like this and he was getting checked, then I know that the doctor would just warn him. But if there's a lot of blood, and I mean a lot of blood, where you can't see his face, then that's when you know the fight's done. A few other things, you can see the clock's there. If the clock's there, then it's just going to be a warning. If you pause the game and you can see the action continuing in the background, then it's just a warning. If it freezes, the game's done. Do you know what I mean? And from that point, they can't DNF. It's too late. So I guess that's why. Yeah. So the doc checks on him, and this is just a warning, right? That if he goes to the ref like this, he doesn't stop it. He would do like another action where he does that to stop it from a different camera angle. So this is just a warning. But now he's got to show a lot of urgency. So if you get warned once, you need to make sure you only WQ. WQ means you only move forward. And if you take a step back, you're screwed. And if you're the person who's running away essentially because you want to get that doctor stoppage, then the ball's in your court. You can really play it to your advantage. You can pretend to run away, then quickly come back and throw your strikes. You can set up counters, and that's what I was doing. I was getting these deep cuts. I was making their icons go red, and then I was making it seem like I was just going to run away, but really I was luring them into a trap where I was setting up counters and essentially just knocking them out. But yeah, I think it's OP. I'm going to show you a conversation I had with someone. So I played someone called Word Life. He said, "Are you on PS?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's play, run something fight." And I doctor stopped him immediately. I showed him how OP it was. By the way, he's a good player, and I was like, "Look, I told you, I get them all the time." And then look, I did it to him again. He said, "I never got an instant stoppage. Normally, it doc checks and then lets me fight." Blah blah blah. I've C Hunter said, who's the owner of the ESFL, and he's also a game tester for UFC 5. He says, "I've yet to have a doctor stoppage. I don't know how people are getting multiples." I actually sparred him, and the 2 times I actually went for it, I was successful and I stopped it. And even he put in a complaint, and he said, "Naz, I might even get you to fight like a developer or a game dev just to show how, the way I was going for it was." So all I would do was, as soon as the game start, I was trying to focus a cut. Whether I was throwing hooks, elbows, counters, I was really good at getting them quite early. As soon as I got that cut, whether it was on the left side or right side of their face, I would switch stance so that my lead hand would hook them on the side where the cut is. And I was just hooking that side of their face, even if they were blocking, I was hooking it. And I noticed, the icon was going red and red. That's essentially what I was doing. And then look, in this fight, I was actually losing the fight. I was like, "Save me, Doc." And I think it was just a warning, right? At first, it was just a warning. And then in the next round, I actually stopped him. And he said, "Let's do one more. I'm not getting Doc stopped this time." And then look, I Doc stopped him again. And he was like, "God, this game's busted. GG's." And I was like, 4 doctor stoppages, if anyone's wondering. And Dima, a game tester as well, he said, "Dude, I just got one too. All I did was lead hook." Exactly. That's exactly what I was doing too. And mate, they're easy to get. So if they don't change how the dock stoppages work, then I would suggest, I know it's cheesy, but if you want to get a few wins on UFC 5, mate, go for that strategy. Try go for doctor stoppages. There's multiple ways to win in UFC 5 now, and you can win by decision, submission, KO, doctor stoppage. There's 4 ways. There was only 3 ways on UFC 4. I highly doubt fights will go to decision on UFC 5 because of how the stamina and damage worked on the beta. I know they're gonna tune the stamina a bit with head movement just to prevent people from like spamming head movement. But yeah, we'll see how things play out. But anyway, guys, that is the end of this video. Let me know what you think. Did you get doctor stoppages too in the closed beta? And Just give me your thoughts. I personally think this will promote a lot of spam, a lot of spam. But you can always use that spam to advantage. If you expect your opponent to spam a certain strike, then you can just pull counter. That would be the advice I'd give you. When I noticed people were trying to, focus a doctor stoppage on me, all I had to do was, either block effectively or use a lot more head movement, which is risky. So, UFC 5 is an interesting game. I can't wait to play it. What? About 21 days left now. Yeah. But anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.